Some other things I do is I build custom sissy bars. I'm building one right now for a customer. It's jigged up there.
Well, let's go take a look at the jig. All right, here we are at the sissy bar table.
What I'm going to be doing with this eventually, as more and more I make them, I'm going to have pre-drilled holes that I tap these and they're threaded so I can screw a bolt in. I'm making these slugs to use as kind of a guide. So what I start out with is I get the customer specifications. I kind of straight line my straight line here, which is my reference point where his axle plate would be. It tells me where his holes are, how wide, so I can draw up how wide his axle plates are, so I make sure my sissy bar is outside of those so it'll bolt onto those axle plates. How far up they need to go until they get to their fender. Once they get to where their fender would be, then I can kind of work. I draw myself a little diagram of kind of where the fender would sit, and then I can kind of work around that and work up to however tall they said they want it. So this one here, after doing some torch work, sits like that. This one's going to come in, sit like that. And I got my straight line. I do a straight line right down the middle so I can eyeball my sides up, make sure that when I weld this and keep it together, that my middle is going to be the same. This is actually going to get welded up and then rounded off. He didn't want a point at the top. So I'll cut those down, weld them up real nice, and then I'll have two threaded bungs down here that will bolt through into the axle plates. And then I'm going to send him a two-piece set. I make these countersunk. Of course, I don't have any laying around right now. But I make kind of the counterboard metal bungs that I'll weld on so that they can run a bolt through into their axle plate, and I'll have that welded on too when it's all said and done, so it'll look nice and clean. And he'll have a set of these, male and female, so he can weld one to his fender and the other one weld to the sissy bar, however he needs to mount it nice and rigid. I also am going to be doing handlebars starting this winter. I bought a tubing bender, so I'll be able to bend up all kinds of cool handlebar designs. I'm going to start making some frames, do some frame work. You know, raking, stretching frames for people, hardtailing frames, build them from scratch. Front ends, I want to make some cool springers of my own design, real skinny, thin stuff. I like the old style, old school stuff. Maybe some twisted springers in there. So frames, front ends, handlebars. Basic service work on old bikes. You can see up here I got a 58 panhead. This is one of mine. I'm pretty hardcore into the old stuff like I talked about, so working on these old bikes to me is fun. You know, working on new bikes with all the high-tech gizmos and gadgets and electronic this and electronic that, it just kind of doesn't do much for me. But these old point-fired, nice old bikes really do it for me. And this one right here, this is my stock 58 pan. I call this one the Princess. She's my pretty bike when she's all cleaned up. And last ride of the year this summer, I blew a head gasket right before the cold weather set in. So I gave her one last shot, and she blew a rear head on me. It was a cold day, and I probably didn't let it warm up enough. So I got it partially torn now. I got to tear the motor apart here, take the heads off, and I'm gonna, while it's down this far, I'm gonna replace both head gaskets just to be safe. Better to be safe than sorry. It's kind of a major ordeal to tear these apart to work on them. So when you got them apart, you might as well do as much as you can. So when you put it back together, you don't have to spend another couple days tearing it all down. So old kind of service work. People that have knucks and pans. I have a whole gasket board of knucklehead, panhead stuff. A lot of stuff that most shops won't have in stock. They'll be like, oh, geez, I got to order that. That's a lot of kind of stuff I have in stock. So my buddies with old bikes, no, geez, I need, an old 4-speed tranny seal. Oh yeah, I got 5 of them. Come grab one. Where with a lot of shops, they got to order it. You don't get it till usually you find out your bike's broke on Friday night. And you need to part to ride for the weekend. So then you're out. Here I try to get all that old stuff in stock so I can help keep the old bikes on the road. To me that's it's awesome to see. The old vintage bikes just getting pounded on down the road, and seeing people ride them, it does my soul good.
All right, tell me a little bit about your sign making.
Yeah, one of the other things I've done, this was one of the first things I really started doing to make some money, was sell custom signs for people. If you look at this sticker here, Change Your Luck, Ride a Knuck, Carl Cycle Supply, good friends of mine. I talked about them earlier with Elvis and the chrome tanks. I took that sticker, I scanned it in, and as you can see, I got a full-size 4-foot by 4-foot steel sign I'm going to be giving them for their shop as a little Christmas present for helping me out.
I suppose we shouldn't air this then until after they get that.
Yeah, right.
It'll ruin the surprise.
But he, they're good guys, and I thought it'd be kind of neat to take their sticker and scan it in and make them something that they'll probably never would imagine they could have got. And this is what I can do. I can take people's logos, artwork, CAD drawings, you name it, scan it in or redraw it or create it, and then send it to the machine to cut out of steel. This is the biggest I can go in one piece is a 4 foot by 4 foot sheet. I do a lot of smaller stuff. This here, I do these motor cutouts. Obviously, my addiction to knuckleheads. I do a lot of knucklehead cutouts for people. Good for bike shops and people's garages and bars. I also have the panhead. Panhead, because panheads forever. They've always been a part of my life, and I'm never going to turn my back on what I started riding. I do kind of fun signs for people. This is a good one for a bar. Everybody's always coming over for free beer. Oh, this this guy here is telling you beer ain't free, giving you the bird. Kind of a neat little novelty thing, but basically sky's the limit. You send me an idea, picture, design, and I'll get it in the steel for you. So it's.
I think on the website you even had suggested for cabins. And
yeah, a lot of cabin
about
signs.
anything a person can think of. Yeah. I think
businesses. Right now, I'm doing some business logos for some companies. They're giving me their designs. I'm cutting them out of stainless and then give them a brush finish. They're going to hang them up in their corporate office. I've done some real thick steel for housing developments. When you pull into a subdivision, you see kind of the neat metal artwork. Sometimes that's some of the stuff I do as well. So
cool. All right, and just when you think this guy couldn't get any busier, his wife stays just as busy. Tell me a little bit about what she does.
Yeah, she's kind of like me. We're definitely a good match. She's real crafty and building and likes to fabricate stuff. And if you've seen her around the garage at all, I drink Pabst. I'm from Milwaukee, so Pabst was always my flavor. And she started taking my old beer cans and cutting them up and actually making art jewelry, bracelets for women and different cool things. And she's grown into a business herself now where she's selling these things all over the country, and she has a website set up. And she also, what she does is kind of cool because she's a graphic designer. She, besides doing logos and business cards, and she does baby announcements and all that stuff, but she started doing some cool, because of the bikes are such a big part of her life, the little motorcycle related kind of neat charms for women. So this one says Scooter Tramp on one side with a picture of a lady and Born to be Bad on the other, and she uses all old vintage pictures of ladies actually riding bikes from back in the day. So it's kind of neat, something different for your wife or girlfriend or whoever is into bikes with you, that you can't get these at the Harley, we call it Harley shop nowadays. It's like Walmart there. They're not selling bikes as much as they're selling all the other crap. But this is kind of neater. She can do individualized ones. She can put your own picture of your bike in here with your names or pictures of you. A lot of stuff she does too now is that she'll take family pictures with the people's children, make little charms for grandmas and grandpas and moms, and she calls that stuff wearables. So this is just another piece of the Baas puzzle here for going out there and trying to be an entrepreneur. She's been staying real busy, and we're kind of starting to share a little shop space as she's getting more creative and using more metal. So we'll see how that goes.
I suppose her website is linked to your website, and your website is going to be linked to our website. So if you need more information on them, you can go to bassmetalcraft.com, or you can go to wildwheels.webs.com and check them out either way. Kevin, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron.
Really appreciate it.
It's fun.
And stick around. Sounds like he's got some new stuff coming down the pike, and we'll try and get back with him later. Otherwise, keep checking back for further episodes.
Come say hi at the Donnie Smith Bike Show. I'll be there set up with my students and myself. So
yes, absolutely, that's a no miss. I cannot miss that event. So,
all right,
bye bye.
Thanks.